I was thinking lately that there are three carnivore dishes that I have never ever cooked and never even tasted in my entire life. So I thought it was time to get creative and adventurous. So I went down to see my butcher and I come home with some ingredients. And in this video, I'm going to cook three dishes I've never cooked before and I've never eaten before. So come along and see how we do. So I'm jumping into the first one, and you probably already noticed that I have on the bench in front of me these beautiful marrow bones. Now, I don't know what you've done with marrow bones in the past. Most of us, I guess, would have only bought them if we had a doggy, and we would maybe get the butcher to cut them up and we give them to our doggy to eat. But today, we're going to try roasting these marrow bones and see what they're like as a dish on the carnivore diet. So all I've done is I've got them on the bench here, and I've got a container of Redmond salt. And I'm just going to take this salt and give them a liberal course of salt all over. Something like that. And I have preheated my oven up to about 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 230 Celsius for those of you who are Aussies and other countries where we use Celsius. And I've got the oven hot, ready to go. So I've got a baking tray here. I'm going to simply put them in the baking tray like that and pop them in the oven. Going to give them about 15 to 20 minutes and then see how they're progressing. We want the oven fairly hot, you may have noticed with the temperature, but we also don't want them in there too long that the marrow starts to melt down and run everywhere. We want to keep that goodness in the bone itself. So I'm going to start with 15 minutes at that temperature in the oven. So they're in. Well, those marrow bones have been in the oven now for about 20 minutes, so I'm going to take them out and have a look at what we've got. So there we have our marrow bones after about 20 minutes in the oven. The idea is that the marrow inside the bone should be soft enough to dig out and enjoy our marrow bones. Certainly soft, a very soft texture. Oh, I've got to tell you, that's delicious. You can certainly taste the salt I put on before. One of the problems with these marrow bones is that they're so big. I guess if you had a butcher that was cooperative, you could get him to cut them into smaller pieces for you and to make them easier to go in your oven and also on your plate. But I've got the big ones, so I've got a bone this big. And you can probably see the size of the plate there. It's going to overflow the plate. Just imagine that you're eating at a fine dining restaurant. Now, I'm sure that you could enjoy those marrow bones just as they are. The taste is quite delicious. They're quite tender, have a very unique flavour, and I'm sure that you're going to like them. Depending on how strict you are on your carnivore diet, I'm also cooking for my wife, and she's not quite as strict as I am. So I've been able to do up some toast slices here for her. They're gluten-free, and she can spread the marrow bone contents onto that toast. And then I've made up a simple little dressing here. This is just some shallots, and I think I've got some capers, olive oil, and what else? Just a bit of salt, and put all that in together. I think I added some lemon juice there. Now, if those things are a problem to you on your carnivore diet, as they may well be, well, you could make that more simply. You could have a mixture of olive oil and butter, or you might like to put a drop of cream in it. That makes a lovely sauce on its own, but something just to give a little bit of sauce texture to the marrow bones. So we're going to serve these up, and I'll let you know how they go. Well, for my second item today, I've got this little beauty right here. That may look rather gross, but it's actually an ox tongue, and I'm going to have a go at cooking that. Okay, so what I did with the tongue is that I put it in some water and I added some garlic, about 8 cloves of garlic, and some cloves, and then I added an orange peel and about half an onion chopped finely, and I put that on to simmer. Now they say to simmer that for about 4 to 6 hours, so this has had pretty close on 6 hours now that it's been simmering. So after the 6 hours, I've taken the tongue out and let it cool for a few moments till it was cool enough to touch, and then I have peeled the skin off, and you have this lovely skin that just peels off, leaving you the tongue that looks something like this. So what I'm going to do now is to simply slice the tongue up into about 1/4 to 1/2 inch slices, just a centimetre or so thick each. So I'm going to slice this up, see how we go. So there we go. There's my tongue all sliced up on the plate in slices. Now what I'm going to do is just to add some seasoning to that. Got some Redmond salt here ready to go, and going to give that a good sprinkling all over. Something like that. Can't have too much salt on the carnivore diet, can you? There we go. Now behind me, I've got the Ninja grill going on high over in the corner, and I'm going to take these pieces over to the Ninja grill and put them in and just sear them on high heat, just enough to brown them. So here goes nothing, eh? So that's them all on there. We'll close the lid and let them sear. So there we are. I've just flipped them the first time. Got that lovely char lines on them now, so we'll keep them going. Okay, I think they have had long enough. So that's what they look like right off the grill. So I'm going to get them off back onto the plate, and we'll give them the taste test. So there we have our tongue all sliced up, been poaching for about 6 hours, and then sliced up and then put in the grill with a bit of Redmond salt on it until it's just nice and crispy on top. So hopefully this is going to taste as good as it looks. So here's the ultimate taste test. Very tender. Quite a nice flavour actually. A little bit meaty. So there we go, folks. Don't let the organ meats gross you out. If you cook them properly and find a nice way to serve them up, they can be quite delicious, and the nutrients in the organ meats is just at least 10 times what is in the ordinary cuts of meat that we buy most weeks from our butcher. So give them a go. They are just incredibly important on the carnivore diet. They're full of electrolytes, full of minerals, full of potassium, and all of those good things that we need on the carnivore diet. And they taste delicious, and it's going to give you some variety. So I would encourage you to do what I've done and to find a butcher who sells tongue, and either do the recipe I've done here, which is very simple, or you could find one online of your own. But certainly let us know in the comments. Have you tried tongue before? What did you think of it? How did you cook it? Would you try it in the future? So there's dish number 2. We have got one dish to go. Well, for this, my third and final dish of the day, I have on the plate here in front of me a lovely piece of liver, and what I'm going to do is to cook this liver up. So all I've done so far with this piece of liver is that I've put it in a bowl in the fridge with a bit of buttermilk over it to kind of marinate, and I've left it there for a bit over an hour. So I've just taken it out and it's on the bench here in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I've got some paprika here. Now, whether or not you can have paprika on your carnivore diet, you'll have to work that out. Otherwise, if you can't have paprika, you could just use good old salt and pepper. But I'm going to put a bit of paprika on this bit of liver. It's one side done. We'll turn it over and we'll do a bit on the other side. And for good measure, I'm going to add a little bit of good old Redmond salt as well. So that's all ready to go. Now all I'm going to do is to put this onto the cutting board here, get rid of the plate, and I'm simply going to slice the liver up now into some slices. I'm going about 1 centimetre wide, a bit over 1/4 inch. And there we are, it's all sliced up. I'm going to put it onto the plate now. And I'm going to take it over to the fry pan. And what I want to do is just to cook this fairly lightly for about maybe 3 minutes each side and see how we go with that. Okay, they've had a good 3 minutes on each side. What I'm going to do now is to add a little mixture I made just with some onion and bacon and garlic together, and I'm going to put that in. Now again, if you've got a problem with garlic or any of those ingredients or the onion, you'd leave them out and do it your own way. But I'm just putting a bit of that in for some flavour. So there we have it. I'm going to just serve these up. Imagine this is a little entree if you like. And we'll put some of that on there. Make sure we get some of this nice onion on each dish. Of course, I've got 2 dishes here, one for my wife who's sitting over there reading, but I better do the brave thing and have a taste myself first before I give it to her, shouldn't I? Let's see how it goes. A little bit chewier than the tongue was in my second dish, but with all those extra bits I put in, gives it a lovely zingy flavour. So there we go, folks. That's just a quick, simple cook of some liver, and I'm sure there's many ways you can cook liver. A lot of people just chop it up and put it in mince, which disguises the taste of it if you're a bit iffy about it. But I'm sure there's many ways that you can enjoy it. And look, liver is not the not the big baddie or the big ogre that we thought it was. It's actually quite nice, and it is absolutely packed with nutrients, as are all the organ meats. So if you're on the carnivore diet, I would encourage you particularly to try the organ meats and discover some recipes and to give it a go. But look, folks, thanks for watching this little video today. It's really my first attempt at a cooking video. If you missed my last video where I was cooking on the bank of the Murray River, I will leave a link to it above. But thank you for watching. Please join our Facebook group, The Carnivore Pensioner, and I will see you on the next video. And until then, keep telling your story.